So let me start this video by saying that it's not a reflection of Coby White as a player at all. I love Coby White as a player, and the way he's been playing lately, it's been fantastic. It's been what we wanted to see from him all year long. He looks like a guy who could make an all-star team someday. He looks fantastic lately. So this isn't about that. This is about strictly his value as a trade asset, because I had a post yesterday, and one thing you guys got to realize about me if you follow me on Twitter, 90% of the stuff I'm saying is purely sarcastic, purely trolling, especially at this point in the season. I'm just, the Bulls have kind of broken me. So a lot of what I say, it gets taken out of context because I'm joking and I don't put a LOL on it or anything like that. So had a post yesterday where I said, because they were saying that the Pelicans are going to be shopping Zion Williamson this offseason. And I said that Josh Giddey sign and trade for Zion Williamson is going to hit hard. And a bunch of people got in my mentions and were saying we can't move Josh Giddey in that trade. Coby White for Zion Williamson, that's going to be where it's at. And I'm here to tell you guys, Coby White, he's not that valuable of a trade asset. If you really break it down, he's not, I'm not going to say he's a negative trade asset. That's wild, that's crazy, that's not true. But he's not as valuable on the trade market as some of you guys think he is. So the thing you got to realize with Coby going into next year is his contract, very valuable. His contract was valuable when we signed it. $36 million for 3 years, $12 million a year. Very valuable. At the trade deadline, it still would have had a lot of value because you would have got him for this stretch run and you would have got him for next season. The problem is this offseason, not quite as valuable. You'll get him for 1 year at that $12 million. So either you're trading for Coby White as a 1 year rental, or you're trading for him with the understanding that you're going to get him for this year at $12 million, and then you're going to have to give him a massive pay raise after that to keep him around. And when I say massive, I'm talking like 150% pay raise. He's going to make at least $24 million a year on his next contract. He might be in the 30s on his next contract, especially if his play sustains like this. Look at what Emmanuel Quickly signed for, and try telling me Coby White ain't going to get that money. So that takes the trade value away from Coby White, because teams are not going to cough up a lot of assets for either a 1 year rental or for somebody that they're going to have to give that big of a pay raise to if they want to keep him around as a part of their future, as a building block. So that takes away from Coby White's trade value. So when you look at this offseason with the Chicago Bulls, a lot of people are going to rate Coby White as their best trade asset. He really isn't. He's really not their most valuable trade asset. I'm on the team of, I hope we can keep Josh Giddey around. I like what he's doing. I like what he's accomplishing. I like the way he's played since the Zach LaVine trade. But he might be our most valuable trade asset in a potential sign and trade package with the team, because there's only two teams with cap space this offseason to sign him outright, the Brooklyn Nets, and that fit kind of made some sense until you started seeing the reports that they really want to bring D'Angelo Russell back, that they really love D'Lo and Josh Giddey, they don't make any sense at all. And then the Detroit Pistons, they have a lot of cap space, but he makes absolutely no sense with Cade Cunningham. So when you take that into account, then the other teams that would have Josh Giddey interest, and there will be Josh Giddey interest, despite what you may think of him, there will be interest in a 22-year-old point guard who has put up the numbers that he's put up and has improved the shooting the way that he's improved it lately. There will be interest for him. So those teams, they won't have the cap space to sign him outright. They'll have to start working that sign and trade market, and that's where the Bulls could maybe get some assets back. If you look at the rest of our roster, Coby White, like I said, with his contract, it's actually not that valuable. Probably not a lot of assets coming back in that deal. Ayo Dosunmu falls into the same category. Either you're bringing him in for a 1 year rental on a very cheap contract right now, or you're bringing him in with the understanding that you're going to have to pay him. And his raise, I think he's making $9 million next year? I want to say it's $9 million next year. Would not be shocked if he was able to sign a contract paying him between $50 and $20 million a year on his next deal. So that takes it out of there. Lonzo Ball, his contract he signed is very friendly. It is very valuable. He can't play. I love Lonzo. He can't play. He's at 35 games played this year. I don't know if we're going to see him the rest of the year. So I don't know who's giving up anything for that. Look at the rest of the roster. Nikola Vucevic, a negative trade asset. I think we should just waive him. I don't think you're getting anything for him in the future. Kevon Huerter, Zach Collins, they've been better than I thought since the trade. But still, with their salary number, I believe they're both making $18 million next year. No trade value there. Patrick Williams, one of the worst contracts in the NBA. You're going to have to attach assets to Patrick Williams to move him. That was the funny thing with my Zion post is people were like, Patrick Williams and Coby White for Zion Williamson. That makes sense. The Pelicans would do that. No fucking way in the planet would the Pelicans do that. There's so many teams that could offer better contracts than that if Zion Williamson really hits the market like that. Dalen Terry has no trade value. Julian Phillips has no trade value. Modest Buzelis, he would have trade value, but he's a piece obviously you want to keep around. So I'm just telling you guys, if you are looking at this offseason and you are saying the Bulls need to make a big splash move, they need to make a trade, they need to go after Zion Williamson or LaMelo Ball or Devin Booker or Kevin Durant, whatever number of trades, whatever number of stars are going to be available on the trade market this coming offseason, they simply don't have the assets to do it. And Coby White, as much as I love him, I hope he sticks around for a while because I really do see the vision with him and Josh Giddey as a backcourt together. His trade value on his contract is not where it's at, man. No team is really going to give up assets for a guy for either a one-year rental or a guy they're going to have to give a massive raise to. So you guys let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Let me know how you feel about them going into the offseason. I like the backcourt of Giddey and Coby. I am pretty worried, though, about both the number that Giddey's going to get this offseason and the number that Coby White is going to be looking at on his next contract.